I have a notification. And I burped. Memory 93 writes, that's weird, but okay. Hmm. Alright. Michael E., you ever be taking a dump and have to spit, so you slide back on the seat a little and try to spit through the gap, but accidentally spit on your own Johnson? No, I can't say I've had that experience. There's no amount of sliding back on the seat that would permit there to be that much of a gap. I'm a normal sized person. Artmore, hi, Rich. Michael Hunt, Richard, what do you think about busy? I've been asking everyone. I have no particular thoughts. Mary said hi. Harpereet, Sundu, hi. How are you, bro? Past HB2. Howdy, RLN. Harper Eats. How are you? Styrofoam. Yeah, Michael, I do. Must be some skinny ass bitches up in here. Hyper Eat. Whoa, your eyes are beautiful. Well, that's not a gay thing to say. Michael Hunt. No, Rich, it's pronounced Bussy. What the hell is Bussy then? Alex's Gilbert said hi. Okay. Bingo Healer, hi. Styrofoam, I weigh 210 and I'm 5'10". I'm not too skinny, lol. What kind of a toilet do you have then? Spit on your own, John, weirdos. Hyper Eat, where do you live? What country do you live in? I live in Los Angeles, California. West Side. Styrofoam, I guess it's a bigger bowl, lol. Must be, dude. Styrofoam, what do you do here? Ghost stuff? No, not particularly. I mean, I mostly just, respond to my subscribers. Bingo Healer, you're gonna need a bigger boat. Yes. That, if you guys don't get it, is a quote from Jaws. Hyper Eat, I'm also messaging from California live. I saw you after so many days, bro. Bro, 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 bro. She told me that she loved me, but she had somewhere to go. Jackson James said hi. Where are my mods today? Hyper Street, listen to the song, bro. What song? I wrote a song. I wrote a song for you. And it was called Yellow. Oh, I just woke up, by the way. Slept in these clothes. I really should have added more ice to my water. Bingo Healer. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Gone with the Wind. Mary Mistrada. Gone with the Wind. Yes. Did you know that Gone with the Wind reduced the sale of undershirts? Dude walked out there in his hairy chest, and everyone was like, I want to be like that man. Harry. Tina Trong. Hello, everyone. Have a peaceful and happy day. Harper Eat, you are at home or in a car. I am at home. What you see behind me is a computer screen. Mary, I didn't know that about the undershirts. Yeah, well, you have to remember, Mary, that back in that day, there wasn't as much media to consume. Gone with the Wind is considered the first Generation 1 blockbuster, right? That time, blockbusters were literal, all right? The line to watch the film had to pass a city block. Hence the name, Blockbuster, after the blockbuster bombs of World War II. Okay, the first of the Generation 2 blockbusters was Jaws, where the marketing was equal or larger than the film budget. Okay. And the first of the Generation 3 blockbusters was Jurassic Park, where the heavy use of special effects was considered the distinguishing factor. Although I think, like, currently, I'm not even sure. Like, I guess these are Generation 4 blockbusters we're seeing now, in that they suck. Bingo. The first swear word said in a movie. I doubt that that's true, but perhaps the first main stage movie. Mary Estrada, Gone with Her. Tina Trong. Hello, everyone. Have a peaceful and happy day. Harper Street, you are at home or in a car? At home. Mary Estrada, I didn't know that about her. Did I go back somehow? Synthetic Clandestine. Yo, Richard, did you know on today's date, October 25th, 1671, the Italian astronomer Giovanni Cassini discovered a new moon at Saturn's Lepidus. No, I didn't, but do understand we have no current definition of a moon. Mustang. Good evening, Richard. I hope you're doing well. Harper Reed. I live in San Jose, California. Alrighty. Paytinster. Hey. Memory. Hi. Harper Reed. What is your name? I forgot. Richard Leland Neal. Bingo Healer, a movie called Scarlet, is the sequel to Gone with the Wind. Really? Sequels are almost as old as Hollywood. Poop Trejo said hi. JJ, when you align your crackers, where do you rate Arby's? I haven't had Arby's in a very long time. Beavis. Hi, it's me again. Yes. Memory. I bought a Hungry Man TV dinner. They forgot my dessert in it. Okay. Mustang. Going to see the new Spider-Man movie at midnight. There's a new one? I guess it's animated. First major movie to feature a curse word was Gone with the Wind. Major movie. Which shocked audiences with Gerard Butler's line, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." Prior to this, the word damn was banned from motion picture production code, and other milder curses like hell and damn had been issued sparingly in films but were heavily restricted. Yeah. I mean, before the current rating system, like, you just got approved, and it had to be appropriate. Mustang, it's animated, you're right. Mary, Beavis, be nice. Yes, Beavis, be nice. Being a healer, I tried a TV dinner. The screen was hard to get down. Yeah. And I think it tasted a little metallic. Bingo! First major movie I see, yes. Again, Bingo, do understand something that, like, early American cinema had a we censor ourselves mentality, so there was a review board. And the review board would approve or not approve a film. Okay? I believe that died out in the 50s. Miriam Estrada, hi Mike. Hyper Eat, your hair looks beautiful, I like it. Looks like my bald spot is getting less pronounced. Beavis, how many YouTubers have the same subscriber count as their weight? Probably quite a few. I mean, I'm not quite to 10 subscribers for every pound yet, but getting there. Mike, ever seen the movie Clown from 2014? I don't think so. I think I may have seen part of it. That's the one where the guy puts on a clown suit and it won't come off, I think. Bingo Healer, I prefer old movies to new ones. Well, that's a legitimate preference. Okay, my digital copy of Clown is now on the way. Bingo Healer read that one. Scott, you make me laugh. Okay. Philip Richard Beaveth. God damn, Kathy, I can hear that his message got deleted by Mary. Beavis, don't piss off Mary. She's a good person. I mean, if Elle were banning you, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But I mean, if you're upsetting Mary, okay, you've got a good reason. You're upsetting her for a good reason. Hyper Street, what are you looking at? Is there something wrong with you? I was looking at the screen as I downloaded Clown. Mary, hi Phil. Phil, Ebony Asian MILF Titty Bang nurses bite-sized with bearded clams. Bingo Heater. High Noon, one of my favorite movie. JJ, could you give a nice parlay pick for the NFL? No. I don't know anything about the NFL. Azorian, mess with Mary, you mess with us. This is what you get when you mess with us. Philip, Mary, yeah, 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 yeah. Scott, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? With silver barrels and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row. Philip, where is Mike, LVM, Art, and Amanda? Well, Mike's here. I don't know, dude. I mean, I just woke up. Bingo Heater, take a message to Mary. She tried to scream as I held her close. I swore I'd never let her go. Mary, love the song, Bingo. Mike, Philly, Bingo Healer, Everly Brothers song. Philip, Mike, are you finally off tomorrow? No. I work tomorrow. Hyper Eat, okay, bye. I'll come back later. Good night. Tonight, we'll crucify beyond our stock advice. Tonight, I'll believe in me as I believe in you tonight. Scott, bingo is all about Clint Eastwood films, buddy. Yeah. Philip Screwdriver, hi. You know, I was a theater student at one point, and I told one of my professors, I think that the theater industry is very wasteful. And then he brings up Clint Eastwood, and it's like, dude, Clint makes movies. What are you talking about? You're clearly not listening. You are not very smart. Mary, that came out 30 years ago. Yeah? I'm old. Bingo Healer, but High Noon was Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly, yeah. JJ, so did RuPaul. Mary, me too. Did you know RuPaul's concept was to make, cross dressing less offensive? Philip Screwdriver, I'm smoking on that blue pack. Smoking in the boys' room. I've got me a kitty. Yeah, through the kitty. Phillips Screwdriver, Phillips Screwdrivers. Daniel Socket, William Wrench, and Phillips Screwdriver. Memory, Boston Baked Beans. Philip, they want me to run more practice at judo. That takes more of my homework time and free time. I want to tell them no. I don't know, Phil. I mean, are they going to pay you more? Mary, which kitty is joining us today? It's Nimbus. She's on my lap. Scott, what about Shayna? Philip, they won't pay me. Well, then no. Mike, who is the person that wanted you to eat Boston baked beans? I don't even remember at this point. Here is Nimbus. See how she is Nimbus-like. Yeah, I came home and Nimbus just curled up around my head. And we slept. Oh, Mathematics, I think, Mike, was the guy's name. Phillips Screwdriver, Bean Burrito, Make Me Fart. Well, they pretty much make everyone fart, don't they? Mary Nimbus. Ah, catbutt. JJ, if it's Smuckers, it's gotta be good. Schmuckers? Well, I mean, if it's schnookers, it smells like fish. Minisu, I'm back after all this time. Joe Cox, God bless your message is deleted. Bingo Healer, Elvis and Carl Perkins used to take kittens for a walk. They always said, let's go cat. Minsu, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've said I'm sorry. Philip, yeah, I want to say no. Scott, what about Cool Hand Luke? Ninsu, my original was Fortnite Kid. Mike, Philip, do you see UFC main event? Philip, I did not, Mike. The time has come to pay, say fair's fair, to pay the rent, yeah, to pay our share. Trevor Richard, what's your opinion on Trump running in 2028? Ask me in 2028, dude. Mike, what you drinking, Richard, and what was dinner? More chicken, and it's just water. Philip, heard no contest at Spinall. Bingo Healer, Cool Hand Luke, Paul Newman. JJ, have you ever received a discount at an auto repair shop as a present from the Tooth Fairy? No. Trevor, do you think there's a chance you could ultimately get behind him getting a third term. You know, Trevor, I will admit I've warmed up to Trump some. Okay. Republicans in general still have a strong faction that dislikes Israel, but Democrats have been so weak-handed. You know, they've gotten a lot of Ukrainians killed. All right. So, I mean, I definitely don't care for Trump's economic policies, and it's strongly clear that Donald Trump doesn't understand the economy. Okay, that is a given. But let's just be clear that the overall institution of American politics is so terrible that I'm in favor of burning it down at this point, and that's what Trump is going to do. So, whereas there's no politician that I would agree with entirely, and I never voted for Trump, I'm really going to have to see how his policies evolve in the future. Now, again, my original understanding is that a president was not permitted to serve 10 consecutive years. So that's what my history teacher taught me. So I honestly didn't know that Trump couldn't run again in 2028 originally. I was not aware that that was a thing. But if the law of the land says he can't do it, then I do believe that we should uphold the law of the land. Right? Now, again, if the candidate who runs against Trump is staunchly anti-Israel, then I would vote for Trump. Okay, I'm going to say that as a thing. Right now, if it were a choice between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, I would choose Donald Trump. Okay, because Sanders is anti-Israel, his policies are asinine, and he would be leading this country and many others into ruin. It's one of those things. If it were currently a choice between Donald Trump and Harris, I would still choose Harris. I don't know what Newsom's policies are to be able to decide whether I would vote for him or not. JJ said hi. Philip, if the Dodgers win, it's gonna get crazy. Jeremy, hey Richard. I was just packing about missing with dead people in caskets. I couldn't do nothing like that, my brother. Mike, we already had a president serve 4 terms. Yes, Mike, and that president decided that that should never happen again. Memory, I didn't know Long John Silver's was still in business. Yeah, I mean, they're few and far between, though. It's just like Pioneer Chicken. My brother used to love Pioneer Chicken, but there are only 2 of them left. Memory. Trevor, can I ask why the Israeli issue is your main voting issue when it ultimately has nothing to do with the U.S.? It doesn't ultimately have nothing to do with the U.S., Trevor. Firstly speaking, Israel is testing the weapons that will protect American soldiers in the coming war with China. Okay, Xi Jinping has said he will make a violent bid for Taiwan, and American lives are going to be hanging in that balance. All right. Secondly speaking, Israel is our primary foothold in the Middle East. So if major war does break out in the Middle East, Israel will be our staging area, right? It's just one of those things. that you have to take into account. Israel is the most America like country in the Middle East, and they are promoting truth, justice, and the American way. If Israel were to fall, all of the hatred and all of the violence currently visited on them will come to us. Peyton Tresser said hi. JJ, I voted for Bernie Salamanders. Okay, Jeremy, do you think Dr. Phil would be better than the Teletubbies for President of the United States of America and Latter day Saints? I think that you need to sober up. Bingo Healer, which president? What? JFK. Or no, yeah. Franklin Delano Roosevelt served 4 terms, died in office, and his vice president, Truman, took over to end World War II. Phil, but man, people won't think I'm cute. Mike, China said they wouldn't fire at U.S. first, but we definitely wouldn't get a second shot off. You know, Mike, thoughts? The bottom line here is that China's military is at least 30 years behind ours. Okay, that doesn't mean they're not dangerous. You know, our military from 1995 could do serious damage to our military from today. But that's just tough talk. I mean, the bottom line is that if China tried to ford the strait between the mainland and Taiwan, there is a 95% likelihood that there would be major casualties. You know, the war in Ukraine taught us that the Chinese industrial complex is a joke. The reason the Russians did not take Ukraine was because their Chinese-made military tires failed on the icy roads of Ukraine and caused major stoppages, right? Bogging them down and halting their advance. This permitted our reaction to make the difference in the war. Bingo Healer. So where Australian Prime Minister can serve infinite terms, an American president can't. Yeah, it was the feeling of Roosevelt that he had too much power. And whereas, he was fighting a war at the end of his presidency, he apparently made the rule that a president cannot serve more than 11 terms, or more than 12, or more than 10 years, all right? So, if, for example, President Trump were to die today, right, J.D. Vance would become president, okay? This would be considered Vance's first term. He would be able to run once more. He would not be able to run a second time after that if he was successful. That's the cap. You could only be president for 10 years. And I believe you're only allowed to run if you've got at least 4 years left. Memory, I'd vote J.D. Vance over Trump. Well, Vance has a more stable idea of the world. Sue Ashfurnashi said hi. Mary, that is correct, bingo. Trevor, Taiwan is so close to China, closer than Cuba is to Florida. Yeah. But Chinese equipment sucks. I mean, look, Trevor, one of the things you have to understand, like America, one of our biggest things is we have mid-air refueling. right? Okay, so like Air Force One can refuel in midair. It can stay in the air as long as it doesn't have a mechanical problem. Uh, our fighter jets can fly anywhere in the world because we have big tanker aircraft that can fuel them up. But China doesn't have that ability. They just can't get it done. Okay, they have what they call stealth fighters, but those stealth fighters are an entire generation behind ours. They can't fly as far, they can't hit as hard, and their technical systems are just not as advanced. Bingo! Unless the Prime Minister gets voted out, resigns, dies, or in one case, for Australia, mysteriously disappears. Yeah. Memory. Trump wants to build a ballroom in the White House, I read. He's demolished one of the wings of the White House, and the new ballroom will actually be larger than the White House itself. It will be the dominant structure on the White House grounds. Mike, Kim Jong Un got 100% of the vote. Do you know why? Because it was or else. Trevor, China has extremely advanced drones. Not compared to America. Memory, what about North Korea? What about North Korea? I mean, their technology is something like 70 years behind the United States. Trevor, Richard, you know that ballroom, they're really building a separate bunker way underneath. There's already a bunker, though. So, I mean, Bingo Healer, Prime Minister Harold Holt went for a swim and was never seen again. Yeah, dude, the truth is, Bingo, there's no possibility that would happen with an American president. He's not going to go for a swim in a body of water. He's going to go for a swim in a swimming pool. And there's going to be armed men watching him with hand-on gun. And another thing, Bingo, in America, once you're president, okay, you are technically always going to be an American president. Your civil service never ends. You continue to receive briefings until you die, and you continue to get Secret Service protection until you die. So, like, Bill Clinton, Secret Service are going to brief him on what's going on in the world tomorrow morning. And if Donald Trump needed to talk to him about something, they have a direct line. Okay? And if he wanted to talk to him in private, he could actually, it's like Marines show up with helicopters and fly Bill Clinton to the White House and say, okay, Bill, Donnie needs to talk to you. And Bill would say, well, is Melania going to be there? And they say, yes, Mo. All right, I'll be right there. Let me get my boner pills. Trevor, how deep do you think the underground bunker is underneath White House? I don't know, dude. Deep enough for a 50 megaton nuclear bomb not to breach it. Bingo, yes, Aussies are lazier than Americans. Yeah, but I mean, you'd think nobody would want to kill an Aussie president, Prime Minister. Philip, Bill Clinton, is Melania going to be there? What, Phil? It's Bill. I mean, look, Phil, put Bill Clinton in a dark room with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is going to score. Joseph de los Santos, hello from Southeast Texas. Ixon, hello. Jeremy, Richard, can you go to jail for tampering with people's food, like putting boogers on it or wiping your butt sweat on it? Yes. Um, Contaminating food is a felony offense. Mary Jeremy, it is battery in some state. Battery in some states. Really? Taxmic, Bill Clinton is getting off to underwear section of the Sears catalog nowadays. Hmm. I'm sure he can get legitimate porn. Mike, Melania is hot. Yes. Jeremy, my sister got mad because I put a booger in her hamburger. Yeah, Jeremy. You did that in front of me, I would have beat your ass. You don't do that to you. You don't even do that to my sister. Although, if you did that to my sister, she'd put you in her hamburger and eat your whole. Ah! Ugh. Nimbus. That hurt. Mary. I believe in New York upstate it is. Okay. Bingo Healer, question. When Barack Obama was president, was the name White House really changed to Black House? Or was that just a racist joke? It was just a racist joke. Jeremy, Richard, would you let me cook you a hamburger with boogers and not snot balls? No. Trevor, why did Bill go to the island at least 29 times? Because he's a pedophile? Trevor, okay, you can't assassinate what's already dead. And Bill Clinton, he had a problem with chasing tail. And, I don't know if he went there 29 times, but it wouldn't surprise me if he went there and had sex with underage women. It just wouldn't. People do bad things. Bingo Healer, Jeremy is sick. Yeah, gonna have to admit here, I'm getting pretty close to banning Jeremy entirely. Synthetic clandestine. Damn, Cat, I thought you were having an emergency situation. Yeah, Nimbus is getting old, and she fell, and her claws got into me. Joseph, cool cat, bro. She's got cold ears. Ixon, your white rum coffee review video inspired me to make YouTube shorts on my hobby. Thank you, Richard, for inspiring me to do something outgoing. Okay. Hope it works out well for you. Mike, it's called White House because of its white shed to protect the exterior. Whitewash to protect the exterior. Yeah? I mean, be completely honest with you, Mike. White House is under the Greek colonial style, and back then we thought that Greek buildings were white because they were made of white marble. We didn't know that they were painted in the time of Greece. So, it's based on a misconception. Jeremy, Richard, do you love Chuck Schumer? The who is it looking like he's about to die? He's only 150 years old. Dude, don't talk like that. Moist and confused, good evening. Philip, Richard, you ever have trouble telling people something in real life that would upset them but be beneficial to you? Oh, all the time, Philip. It's really hard for me to get my express my feelings when there's a larger problem. You know, it's like I say. You know, I used to know this guy. I can't call him a friend. I believe he's passed away now, but it's just, he let too many people in his house be rude to me, and it's like, I was very upfront with him at the end of our relationship that, I came to his house because I wanted to spend time with his cat. I really enjoyed his cat. Her company was quite pleasant to me. But then I came there, and his son-in-law was like, I don't want you here. And I'm like, okay. So I never stepped foot in his house again. And, it's like there are things that needed to happen before I would set foot in his house, but I could never really find the words to explain it to him. But then I didn't believe those things would happen anyway. So, Bingo Healer, I wonder if there will ever be a lady president. I'm sure there will be, Bingo. I mean, you know, I don't think the gender of the president is all that big of a deal. I mean, Hillary Clinton, everyone was saying, yes, we want there to be a lady president, just not that lady. And with Harris, it's people basically voted, they didn't so much vote for Trump as they voted against the bad economy. So it's one of those things in America is that we more often vote against a candidate than we vote for one. Bingo Healer, I'm a dog person, but there's nothing wrong with cats. Yeah. I mean, Bingo, I was at work one day at a hotel, and somebody showed up to visit one of the workers there, and they had a pit bull mastiff. And I don't know how it happened exactly, but I found myself on the floor playing with this pit bull mastiff who was so big he could fit my fist in his mouth. Philip, do you just have to accept the people will be pissed off when you tell them something they might not like but will benefit you? Mike, or Phil, do understand something. That there are people that don't belong in your life. And it's like Dr. Seuss said. The people that mind, you should be yourself. The people that mind don't matter, and the people that matter don't mind. One of my friends, for example, is a transgender. All right, and she's very vocal about the fact that she's a transgender. If you looked at her, you would never have known she identified as female. But I accept her for who she is, okay? I accept the choices she makes. And that's why I'm a good friend, okay? Mike here, we're a friend. I would consider him a friend. He's a Trump supporter. I'm not, all right? I'm, again, going to grant you that, current political climate has changed my opinion on Trump quite a bit. But, it doesn't change the fact that I'd rather he not be president. But Mike and I still get on because we're reasonable people who understand that we can disagree. So, you can't live your life trying to please everyone. That's what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did, and he had a major falling out in Hollywood. So just, remember that. I mean, there came a point in my life where I had to stop talking to my own father, right? He just would not listen. And that's just life sometimes. It's not pleasant. But there are people in your life that, maybe they don't belong there. Scott, boo trans. Ixin, your wives are cool, Richard. Thank you. Guys, once again, I really wish I could make a living off YouTube and it would mean that I would get to spend a lot more time with you guys. All right? It's never going to happen, but, you know. And one of the things about that, it's like, Ryan McBeth, for example, who's a major YouTuber I follow, he doesn't do lives. He hasn't done a live in like 6 months. And, the reason for that is despite the fact that he'll come away from a live with a couple hundred bucks is pocket change to him. This is a guy that will spend $6,000 making a video because it's worth it. Scott, what games do you play on console, dude? I haven't played on console in more than a decade. Bingo Healer, I like country music. I love someone who can stand it, and we are very good friends. Same thing, yeah. Ixin, good to hear someone other perspective. I'm from Australia. Bingo is also from Australia. Scott, put some shrimp on the Barbie. I don't think they do that. Bada bing! Hey Neil, how you doing? Had dinner yet? I had chicken tacos. Philip, yeah, I tend to try and please everyone, but I end up suffering. Yeah, Phil, that's an aspect of your anxiety problem. You're too worried about what other people think. I mean, you're a 200-pound plus dude and an Olympic judo champion. If somebody really doesn't like you, they're going to have a hard time of it. Mary! Me too, Philip. Dixon, I'm sorry you're stereotype Scott. I know you have broader perspectives than that, Earl. Bingo Healer, no, we don't really do that. That is a myth. We use sausage. Scott, did you catch Kangaroo Jack? No. Mike, long as somebody don't force me to believe in something, I won't force them to understand people think different. And if you try to change them, you're going to end up arguing. Yeah. Scott, joking, guys. Bada bing, you like bacon, Neil? Prompteria, Kithith. I mean, I know a black dude who says that Ukraine wants to be part of Russia. He's, most Ukrainians want to be part of Russia. Oh, if that's true, why are they dying to prevent that? I mean, where is this dude getting that? It's stupid. But that's what he believes, and I'm not going to try to change what he believes because it just ain't going to go well for me. Bada bing! What do you think of Toy Story movies? Good movies or not? I haven't seen most of them. Which is weird because, I review movies on my channel, Random Street Theater, but the truth is, I'm not really into Disney, and therefore I'm not into those kind of movies. So it's like, Lilo and Stitch came out, this year. And I have a digital copy. I've never seen the original Lilo and Stitch. And I couldn't get into it. I watched maybe the first 10 minutes. And I was like, God, this is boring. Bingo Healer, a real friend won't try to change you. They will accept you for who you are, yeah. Bada bing! The first 3 movies were perfect. Then these clowns decided to make a 4th when the 3rd had a perfect ending. Yeah? I mean, Scott, there's a good, bad, and confused people. Tex Mick, bro, you look like a handsome Chris Farley. Okay. Anyway, guys, we are reaching the end of the stream. I generally do these for an hour. So, I mean, it's time for me to ask for parting comments. Bingo Healer, Toy Story 5 coming out. I have no idea. I don't think I saw Toy Story 2. I did see the Buzz Lightyear movie. Promptaria, peace out, Richard. Synthetic Clandestine, good night, Richard. Phil Barocci, thank you for the advice, bro. You're welcome, Phil. Bada bing! So you see you around, Richard. Scott Breeze, Neutron film. Definitely going to see it. Ixon, good night, Richard. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have reached the end of the stream. I will see you all later. I, of course, am Richard.